In the last 3 years, I have gone through severe pains far away from my home in order to recover the independence of Korea and obtain the peace of the Orient. But now I have to die here without attaining the aims. My 20 million brothers and sisters will have to bestir themselves for learning and the promotion of industries, and obtain the freedom and independence of our motherland. Following my will, then I, as a man dying now, will have no regret remaining. This is the message that the martyr Ahn Junggeun in prison left to his compatriots after he was sentenced to death for shooting to death the national enemy Itu Hirubumi. Even facing death, the great Korean Ahn Junggeun did not lose his aloofness, but prayed for the national independence and welfare of his compatriots. We now hope his prayer will come true, who, even after sentenced to death, said in a dignified attitude that someday they will recognize my sublime will. After Empress Myeongsong was killed in 1895, the Protectorate Treaty with Japan was forced on November 17, 1905. The Residency General was established in Seoul on February 1st next year, and Itu Hirubumi started for his new post as the first Japanese Resident General. Now Korean Empire existed only in name, while all its reigns were held by Itu. In July 1907, Emperor Gojong dispatched his special envoy to order to proclaim to the world the unfairness of the Protectorate Treaty in the Second World Peace Conference held in The Hague, the Netherlands. Itu Hirubumi, however, forced the dethronement of Gojong Emperor on the pretense of the incident and dispersed the Korean army, the last prop of the Korean Empire, in August of that same year. Resisting against such movement by Japan, independence movement took place throughout the nation, while the patriots who went abroad to avoid barbarity of Japanese Empire went on with their independence movement activities. Martyr Ahn Junggeun was born in Haeju, Hwanghae Province on September 2, 1879, as the eldest son of Ahn Tae-hun, who had 3 sons and 1 daughter. In his early days, he was educated and learnt archery and shooting in Cheonggae-dong, absorbing Western cultures and learning, and growing up as a devout believer under his Catholic parents. Such growth process led him to realize the importance of education later, founding Samhung School in Jinnam-po, and then taking over Donue Elementary School so as to unfold independence movement through education. After engaged in the education for the Korean people, he devoted himself to the movement to save the nation as he actively participated in the government bond indemnification movement. But as Japanese Empire's invasion is manifested, which plundered the national sovereignty, Martyr Ahn Junggeun, keenly realizing the limits of the domestic movement to save the nation, made up his mind to go abroad to continue the independence movement there. Martyr Ahn Junggeun took asylum in North Gando, crossing the Duman River via Seoul, Busan, and Wonsan. Then, after looking around the real situation of the compatriots there, he headed for Vladivostok. Distinguishing himself in the Korean society there, he established a Patriot Army unit to infiltrate into the Korean territory. Then, in 1909, he formed an alliance with his 11 comrades, cutting off a finger of each member in a pledge for the devotion to the independence of the motherland.
안중근 의사가 의병부대를 이끌고 두만강을 건넌 것은 1908년 6월의 일이었습니다. 300여 명의 안중근 의병부대는 홍이동 전투를 비롯해서 신화산, 영산 등지에서 일본군과 격전을 벌이며 승전을 거듭했습니다. 그러나 그 포로로 잡은 일본군을 석방해주면서 오히려 안중근 의병부대의 실체가 발각되면서 결국에 일본군의 습격을 받아 안중근 의병부대는 어렵게 전투를 벌이다가 패퇴하고 말았습니다. 연해주로 돌아온 안중근 의사는 의병 재기를 위해 여러모로 노력을 했지만 의병을 다시 모집하기란 쉬운 일이 아니었습니다. 그 같은 상황에서 뜻을 같이 하는 11명의 동지들과 함께 왼손 약지를 단지하여 대한 독립을 맹세하고 후일 의병을 다시 일으킨다는 결의를 했던 것이 바로 1909년 초 단지동맹이었습니다.
On October 26, 1909, the historical fated day was dawned. In Harbin Station, crowded with thousands of people, loud hurrah broke out by the Japanese, who held high the flags of the blazing orb, along with the blare of the welcome music played by the military band. After a while, seeing Ito getting off the train greeted by high-ranking Russian officials, he did not hesitate to pull the trigger. The bullets leaving martyr Ahn Junggeun's hand hit Ito Hirobumi shot after shot. It was a moment that the aggressor Ito met an end. After his patriotic deed took place, the people campaigned at home and abroad to save martyr Ahn, as well as to raise a fund through donation to prepare for his trials. But fearing that if a foreign lawyer was appointed, the legitimacy of his patriotic deed might be revealed in detail, Japan pushed ahead on lawful trials by blocking the appointment of a lawyer and assigning a court-appointed lawyer, among others. It is as a part of our struggle for the independence of Korea that I killed Ito. And it is because I was defeated and taken prisoner that I stand trial in a Japanese court. My intention was that after killing Ito, I would testify at an international court on the evil doings of Ito in detail and make known to the world the legitimacy of the independence of Korea. At 9 o'clock on February 7, 1910, the first trial was held in the district court of Kwangdong Commandery. As in the interrogation with the prosecutor, martyr Ahn Junggeun tried to publicize to the world the barbarity of Japanese empire and Ito's crimes, but the Japanese would never allow such an opportunity. While the trial was going on, the Japanese forced him to tell a lie, that he had shot Ito because he misunderstood him, both endlessly trying to win him over and threaten him, with his life at stake. But he revealed that he did that only for the peace of the Orient and the independence of Korea, asking them to treat him as a prisoner of war in accordance with the public law of all nations. These arguments of his are well described in A Treatise on Peace in the East he wrote in the prison, as well as in Autobiography of Ahn Junggeun.
짧은 안 의사의 생애 1879년에서 1910년까지의 만 30년 6개월 동안 사신 그 삶의 역정을 본인 자신이 육필로서 기록한 것이 안응칠 역사였습니다. 이러한 그 안응칠 역사를 통해서 안 의사의 그 위대한 또 안 의사의 나라 사랑하는 그러한 그 정신을 그 속에서 우리가 찾아볼 수 있게 되었습니다. 이 동양평화로는 사실상에 있어 짧은 길, 열흘 만에 그 일부분을 기술하셨는데 우선 서문과 전감 일부분만 기술하시고 나머지 5편으로 되어 있는 것 중에서 셋째 번인 현상, 넷째 번인 복선, 다섯째 번인 소위 문답 이러한 것은 다 저술하지 못하시고 쓰지 못하시고 순국을 맞이하셨습니다. 그러나 지금까지 남아있는 서문과 전감 일부분만 가지고 안 의사께서 생각하셨던 그 사상, 모든 사상의 총집합이라고 할 수 있는 그러한 그 깊은 뜻이 그 속에 담겨져 있습니다.
Japanese Empire sentenced martyr Ahn to death on February 14, 1910. Sentenced to death, he smiled, saying he was wondering if there was a penalty severer than that. Hearing the news, martyr Ann's mother sent his 2 brothers, Junggeun and Gonggun, with a message that he was sentenced after doing a right deed. It would be his filial duty to her for him to die for the great cause without begging his life cowardly. Martyr Ahn left not only his book in Lushan prison, but also precious calligraphies. The calligraphy demonstrates his lofty spirit and vigor, so even the Japanese officials were in awe of him. It was quite wet and rainy in Lushan from dawn on March 26, 1910. Martyr Ahn Junggeun sat up square on the chair wearing his white Korean traditional clothes in silk his mother had sent. When the prison warden asked him if he had any words to leave, he said, "I have no words to leave behind except for this. It is for the peace of the Orient that I did it. I only want Korea and Japan to cooperate to achieve the peace. I want to pray for that." Then he prayed in the absolute quietness where you could not even hear your breath. Even at his last moment on the scaffold, Martyr Ahn met his end yearning for the independence of Korea and the peace of the Orient. In spite of the strong request of his two brothers, Japanese Empire did not turn over the remains of Martyr Ahn. It was because they feared that if the martyr's grave came to be known to the world, it would be a sacred place for the independence movement of the Korean people. They buried his remains in the graveyard of Lushan Prison, so that no one might know where it was. Until now, we don't know the exact location of his grave, unable to repatriate his remains. When Martyr Ahn Junggeun died for the country on March 26, 1910, after he shot Ito Hirobumi to death in Harbin on October 26, 1909, he was as young as 31 years old. His patriotic spirit in which he sacrificed himself for the country became a symbol of the independence movement of the country since then. Proving this, Martyr Ahn's lofty will and his patriotic deed was handed down to all the Korean independence fighters, including Kang Woo-gyu, Kim Sang-ok, Na Sok-ju, Lee Bong-chang, Yoon Bong-gil, Baek-bom Kim-gu, who had a connection with Martyr Ahn Junggeun in his early days, honored him as a symbol of the Korean independence movement. Even now, after over 100 years, the pacifistic spirit of Martyr Ahn Junggeun, who sacrificed his life fighting against the imperialistic invasion and for the human freedom and justice, will forever be kept in the hearts of the Korean people, as well as for all the people across the world who dream of peace.